Hello, and it's lovely to be here with you on this Boughs of Holly stamp camp and to bring to you my project that you have got as part of your Make and Take collection. So, quick introduction, my name is Helen Jennings. I'm here in the UK, and it is lovely as always to join everybody on these Creativity Abounds stamp camp. Always great fun. So yeah, if you're looking for me on social media or anything of that ilk, then look out for me at under Love-a-Duckie. So www.loveaduckie.co.uk is my website, and you'll find me under Love-a-Duckie on all of the social media channels. So if you are looking for me, that's where to look. But without further ado, let's have a look at my project that we're going to be creating. And here it is. We're going to be doing a little bit of Emboss Resist on our card today. So this is our little holly based Peace and Joy card with a little insert in there as well. So let's get started. So to start with, you're going to want your standard size card base. So whether that is 14.9 by 21 centimeters scored at 10.5, or whether that is 5 inches by 8.5 scored at 4.25, you'll just make up your basic card base. I won't necessarily give you all the different measurements. They are on your tutorial, but your next mat down is a Poppy Parade mat. So that's your next size down, and you'll notice that mine has got holes in it, and that is because before putting all of this in place, I have cut out the little components from my holly berries. Let's put them to one side there, they'll show up better on that white. I've cut out the little holly berry components out of the middle of this mat, because once I then layer my DSP on the top, no one will be any the wiser. So let's start off by sticking all of these layers together. So I'm going to put the Poppy Parade, the Holy Poppy Parade, onto my Mossy Meadow card base. And then the DSP is this one here that's got these sort of white leaves, the red berries, sort of almost layered up, all of those images layered on top of each other. A really pretty paper. They're all really pretty papers. It's a gorgeous paper pack. And we're going to layer that on top, and that's the next size down. So that would be a 13.9 by 9.5 here in the UK, or wherever else you're using metric. And would be a 5-inch by 3.75-inch mat if you're using Imperial. Right, I'm now going to take this little piece of basic white cardstock, and this was, if I remember correctly, something like 12.4 by 8 centimeters, or whatever the equivalent would be. I'm not just going to measure it because obviously it's scaled, so it will be a different size from that. So it is your piece of basic white. You have two pieces of basic white. One is to make your insert, and that would be a 5-inch by 3.75 or a 13.9 by 9.5. It's whatever the other one is. Let's bring in a blending brush. Let's move my holly berries to one side, and we shall want that in a minute. First of all, we're going to take our embossing buddy, and we're going to give our card a bit of a smoosh. And then I've taken this sort of solid, the smaller of the two holly leaves, but the more solid image just there. And I'm going to take some Versamark, and I'm going to randomly stamp these holly leaves all over this piece of cardstock. Now, we're not necessarily going to be able to see where those leaves are, So I'm going to bring in my clear embossing powder. You can use clear, you can use white. It doesn't really matter if you were running out of one and got more of the other. But because it's white card underneath, we can use clear on top. So now that will just highlight for us where that image is. Let's come in with another one. I think we'll come in this way. I'm going to take another one in down here. Let's sprinkle more powder on. I always decant my powders into boxes and scoop them on with spoons. They can fall back into the box. Got one of our nice new trays. Might be using that instead. Gathering it up and decanting it back into your pot at the end. Let's bring one in down here. Then swing that round. Just going to add in, I don't know how well you can see that at all. I'll lift it up for you in a minute. I'll have one in down the bottom there. So hopefully now you can see where all of that embossing powder is. Just pop that stamp to one side, put the lid on our another spark, and now I'm just heating up my heat tool, and I'm going to melt this powder, and it will go from being a sort of matte powder on the top to a shiny effect. Quite a nice effect if you're doing it on coloured cards. You could just leave your leaves as sort of like a tonal, shiny image on the top. We're going to add some ink to ours. Now, I think those have all gone shiny. Now we have these shiny images in the background. Right, so I've got a blending brush here. Just give it a bit of a rub and take off some of the excess ink that's sitting on the surface. Then I'm going to come in with a soft, succulent ink pad. Let's ink this up. And we're going to go all over the surface of this card with our soft succulent, and you can see those leaves pop out in the background just like magic. Although the leaves themselves resist the ink, you do get the colour in the little grooves in between. Over the centre here. Right, there we have, we've gone all over there with the soft succulent. I'm then going to, somewhere on my desk, I have some mossy meadow. So let's just come in around the edge with some mossy meadow. And then you can take a piece of kitchen towel or a cloth of some sort, just wipe over the top of your leaves. Take off any of that excess ink that's sitting on the surface. There we have the multi-tonal green embossed resist matte. That's going to come and sit on the top here. I'm going to take some of the ribbon from the suite and some tear and tape. I'm just going to wrap that round and attach it on the back with some tear and tape. Doesn't matter what it looks like on the back because the back won't be seen. We want to adhere that mat. I'm going to bring it so I've got it so that this top corner here is reaching that side. And this bottom corner here is reaching that side. Just bring in my acrylic block. Just helps to give some all over pressure to stick that down, because where it's been heated it does tend to want to curl just a little bit. Right, so we have our holly berries, and I've also gone ahead and die cut some of the leaves from the die set. So the two sort of detailed leaves here I have cut in mossy meadow. So I've got two of the large ones and one small one, and then the outline leaves here I've cut in soft succulent. So we've kept those colours that we used in the background just here. I did actually put some adhesive paper on the back of the mossy meadow so that these more detailed leaves have got adhesive backing on them. Let's just pop out that bit. Is that all the bits popped out? No, there's another little bit just there. Out you come. Another little bit just there. Likewise, out you come. So these are then ready. Of course, if you don't have any adhesive sheet, or as I often do, if you just happen to forget to do it until afterwards, thinking, oh, that would have been a good idea, you can obviously use just some little spots of Tombow on the back there. So there's one of our large ones. Let's bring in our other large one. The nice thing is that quite a lot of the little bits pop out as you peel the backing paper off. I did run these backwards and forwards 2 or 3 times in my machine just to make sure that not only had it cut to the card, but it had cut through the adhesive sheet as well. Just a little bit on the back there, look, that doesn't want to come away. Come away. Let's line that one up. Then we have our little one just here. These layered dies are so beautiful. Well, as are the 2-step stamping holly leaves. Such a beautiful detailed set. There we have a small one, which is going to come in there somewhere. Now I haven't actually got any adhesive on the back of these because obviously I cut these out of the centre of my oh, no. Let's try that the right way round, shall we? Let's not get it upside down. It's this top one of the 3 here that just has a partial ring coming round. Got a wink of Stella here. I'm going to just brush this. Let's have some sparkly berries. Obviously this is optional, you don't have to have sparkly berries. Now these have all been raised up on dimensionals. We'll have one coming up that way. Don't worry too much about sort of where the stems, the stalks are overlapping just here, because that's where you're going to pop your holly berries, so they will cover any pieces just there. Where those are intersecting and may look a bit jumbled. It won't matter. How would we like those to go? Like that. I'm then going to take the words peace and joy. So from the stamp set, you've got their 3 separate stamps. It actually says and joy peace on the front of your stamp set. But they're 3 separate little stamps. So I've put them all on one block. Doesn't matter if they're lined up because I'm going to cut them out. So it doesn't matter if they're perfectly lined or if they're straight. Just put them in a line just so that I can stamp them all in one go. I've just got a little strip here of basic white card. Made a bit of a mess of my block there, didn't I? There we go. Peace and joy. So let's just snip out those individual words. Joy. And peace. Got some here of my mossy meadow that's already got the sticky back on. So I might as well make the use of that. Let's stick this onto there. Again, it won't really matter what order they go in because cutting them out separately, as long as I leave a gap between them to do that. Let's bring in our snips again. Just cut them out with a bit of a border. Excuse me. Last one. These obviously have that adhesive on the back, so we're just going to be able to take that off, but again, just pop them on with a bit of Tombow or a glue dot, or if you don't have adhesive sheets. And let's take some more of our ribbon. And let's just trim these ends up a little bit. And we'll add that in there with a glue dot. I'm just going to lay my bow onto my glue dot sheet and pick up that glue dot. It's now stuck to my finger. And just pop that underneath that holly berry just there. So there we have. We've got glittery, glimmery holly berries just there. Emboss resist layer, got some DSP. And then on the inside, all I'm going to do is, this is a strip that's been, when I trimmed my paper down, a strip that was left. So actually this strip is not quite as wide as the piece in my original card, but that won't matter. That's why these sort of adding in these little strips is such a good use of your leftover pieces of paper. It's not a, doesn't have to be an exact art. It is simply a piece of, oh, that's just the right size. That will do beautifully. So there we have our little embossed resist hollyberry cards. So I hope you have enjoyed those, and that you're going to have a go at making yours and perhaps making some more. It's no doubt reminding you of a technique that you know and love anyway, but sometimes it's good to prompt ourselves to go back to something that we've done before but may not have done for a little while. So do enjoy all of your Boughs of Holly projects, and I will see you very soon on the Facebook Live.